The museum on Station Gamma had been a place of quiet diplomacy. That ended when the Hexus Liberation Front blew the airlock doors.
Not like this. Sarah and the kids need me home.
Earth has 12 hours to withdraw from the Telos system. After that, the attaché pays the price.
Robert's wrists were bound with alloy cuffs. A bruise bloomed on his cheek, but his eyes tracked every alien passing. 3 sectors away, Earth Command activated crisis protocols. Tactical response time, 12 hours. Too long.
I'll take it. Forward the dossier to my tablet. Robert Chen, 41, cultural attaché, married, 2 daughters. He can't die on a museum trip.
If the humans stall, we'll send them a reminder. A finger for each hour.
Karen walked into the small relay room, alone. She set down her coffee, clipped on the headset, and stared at the blinking call button. 9 hours remained before Earth had to answer. Karen pressed connect. The line opened with a hiss of static.
This isn't a social call. Give them the ultimatum and end it.
Who is this? Identify yourself and state Earth's answer.
He's posturing, but there's strain in his voice. Nobody starts a call that angry unless they're terrified. I am the person you are going to talk to. How has your day been?
My day? You are joking. This is a hostage negotiation, not a therapy session.
Negotiation goes better when people feel heard. You'd be surprised what a simple question can do.
Fine. My day has been miserable. Half my crew questions every order I give.
That sounds exhausting. Tell me more about that.
We've been running on fumes for months. Supplies, morale, everything is crumbling.
The first crack in the alien leader's armor wasn't a threat. It was the sound of a tired commander who hadn't spoken to anyone in days.
What's been the hardest part for you? The logistics or the people?
The people. My crew used to trust me. Now half of them second-guess every order.
That sounds deeply isolating. How do you cope when your own crew questions every decision?
Not well. I raise my voice, they resent me more, and then nothing improves.
Robert noticed one of the guards lower his weapon. The soldier's shoulders were no longer rigid. Zek glared at the guard, but the man wouldn't meet his eyes. Silence held the room tighter than any ultimatum.
You sound like a person with a lot on your shoulders, Vex Core.
You have no idea.
Then tell me. I'm not your crew. I'm just here to listen.
For the first time, the hostage standoff felt less like a war and more like a conversation.
Tell me about the last time you felt truly happy, Vex Core.
Happy. I don't remember that word. Maybe before the war.
Karen didn't push. She let the silence stretch, knowing the hardest truths need room to breathe.
What was before the war for you, family? A different life?
I had a wife. She left when I chose the front. My father said I was weak, not a real warrior.
My father was a teacher. He always said the bravest people build. They don't destroy.
I wanted to teach. Little ones, ethics, art, stories. Before the war took that too.
The confession hung in the air. Robert heard it. Zek's jaw tightened, but even he didn't interrupt.
My father never once said he was proud of me.
For the first time in years, Vex Core felt seen. Not as a leader or a threat, but as a person who'd lost his way.
I made a Kron beast puppet once. Felt ears, button eyes. I used to tell them stories. The children laughed, and for a moment, the war didn't exist.
Enough. You are embarrassing us. We are warriors, not puppeteers.
Shut your mouth, Zek. You don't know what you are talking about.
It's okay to have passions. They don't make you weak. They make you whole.
A younger alien in the back lowered his rifle, his expression shifting from hostility to something that looked almost like hope.
I haven't thought about that puppet in years. I think I lost it.
Maybe you can make a new one someday. Find those children again.
Someday, maybe.
Robert leaned toward the nearest guard and whispered, "She's good." The guard's nod was slow and uncertain, but it was a nod. By hour 3, the hostage negotiation had become something else entirely. An exhausted commander slowly remembering the person he was before the war stripped everything away.
My father and I butted heads too. He wanted me to teach. I chose the FBI. He thought I was throwing my life away.
He was disappointed in your choice, like my father was in mine.
At first, but he came around. On my graduation day, he told me he was proud. It took years, but we rebuilt our relationship.
My father wrote me off, said I was a failure and a disgrace,
What did you want him to say instead?
that he was proud, that I was worth something, even if I couldn't swing a blade.
You are worth so much. Any father would be proud to have a son like you. You are clearly intelligent and caring.
No one has ever said that to me. Not ever.
This is sentimental nonsense. She's manipulating you.
Proceed, Karen. I want to talk more. This is too much. I can't keep this up.
It is, but you are not alone right now. Let it out. I am still here.
The weapon clattered from Vex Kor's hand. Across the room, the young alien who'd lowered his rifle earlier wiped his eyes with the back of his glove. Zek stood rigid, jaw clenched so hard his teeth ached, but his gun hand trembled uncontrollably.
She's not just negotiating, she's healing them.
What do I do now? I don't know how to fix this.
We'll figure it out together. But first, tell me exactly what you need.
The silence that followed wasn't hostile. It was the sound of 11 broken people finally daring to hope.
You've carried this alone for too long. That ends now. I am here, and I am not going anywhere.
By hour 6, the hostage crisis had dissolved into something unprecedented. A room full of armed militants who had stopped being enemies and started becoming individuals.
Vex Kor, I'd like to speak to your people. One at a time, not as enemies, just as individuals who've been through something together.
Vex Kor nodded toward his crew, and the communicator passed to a young soldier near the back. The young alien's voice trembled. He had joined after a raid flattened his village. No family, no home, just a rifle and a grudge. A scarred alien confessed he owed a crushing debt to a cartel. They would have killed him if he hadn't joined the front.
I have nothing to say to you. You are still the enemy, no matter how many stories you collect.
That's okay. When you are ready, I'll listen. No rush.
See? She actually listens. That's more than the front ever did.
She's done it. They're not a unit anymore. They're just people.
The clipboard filled with scribbled names, debts, losses, and broken dreams, each line a weight lifted from someone's chest. By the 8th hour, Karen had 11 names, 11 stories, 11 reasons to live.
Jameer, you lost your parents in the Clathon raid. Krell, 50,000 credits to a cartel. Each of you carries a weight the front never acknowledged.
Jameer nodded slowly. Krell stared at the floor, his scarred hands clenched tight.
Enough. She's using your weakness to break you. Can't you see it's a trick?
Before anyone could react, Zek raised his rifle toward Robert. Krell grabbed the barrel, wrenching it upward.
Stand down, Zek. That's an order.
If I were trying to manipulate you, would I have spent 6 hours just listening without asking for anything in return?
A young soldier stepped forward nervously. But she does know us. She knows me.
Zek, give me your weapon, now.
Zek hesitated, the rifle trembling in his grip. Then, with a shuddering exhale, he handed it over. The faction had chosen. Not the front, not the ultimatum, but the first person in years who'd seen them as more than soldiers.
I have a proposal from Earth. We can offer you all a new beginning. Defector programs provide housing, job training, and psychological support. Vex Kor. I spoke with a colleague in the education department. There's a school on a neutral colony that needs an ethics teacher. They'd be lucky to have you.
You would let me teach? After what I did? After this hostage situation?
After who you are. The hostage-taking was wrong, but you can make amends by teaching. My father always said the greatest redemption is in shaping young minds.
The aliens murmured, then one by one nodded. The tension that had gripped the room for hours finally loosened.
We accept, on one condition. I want to refund Robert's hotel stay. He missed it because of us.
I think we can arrange that. Consider it done.
Fine. But if this is a trick...
It's not a trick, Zek. I've spent 8 hours being honest with all of you. Why would I start lying now?
By the 9th hour, the Hexus Liberation Front had agreed to lay down their weapons, refund a hotel bill, and follow a woman they'd never met toward a second chance. The weapons pile grew quickly. Rifles, pistols, energy cells, each clattering onto the stack like a stone lifted from a chest. Robert's cuffs were removed. Vex Core extended a trembling hand. Robert took it, a wry smile crossing his bruised face.
I am truly sorry for this inconvenience. You deserved better. We, the Hexus Liberation Front, express our deepest regret for the fear and disruption caused. We offer our unconditional surrender and plea for mercy.
The hotel refund transferred instantly. Robert's account blinked with a new credit balance. The amount exactly what he'd prepaid.
Earth Command, this is Karen. Hostage safe, faction disarmed. You can stand down.
In the command center, officers erupted in cheers. The general wiped a tear from his eye, muttering something about miracles.
You did the right thing, Vex Core.
Because you showed me there's another way.
9 hours after the crisis began, it ended not with a gunshot, but with a refund and a handshake. In the Galactic Council chamber, dozens of delegates watched the live feed from Station Gamma in stunned silence.
Unprecedented. 11 armed hostiles disarmed without a single casualty. It's unheard of in galactic history. This human's method. It's as if she deactivated them with words alone. No weapons, no threats.
Earth showed us mercy when they could have sent soldiers. Let this be a lesson in the power of patience.
The chamber rippled with murmurs. Then scattered applause broke out among the delegates.
I move. We commission a study on this intervention for future crisis protocols.
In her comms room, Karen pulled off her headset and slumped back, exhaling for what felt like the first time in hours.
That was a weird one.
She began the after-action report, but her mind was already drifting to the next call that would inevitably come. The galaxy had questions. For the first time in history, they wondered if a conversation could be more powerful than a fleet. Karen stayed on the line, walking the faction through the disbandment paperwork step by step.
There's a social worker named Ilara on Station Tau. She specializes in alien reintegration. Her number is in the file I am sending.
Will I see you again? Or is this the end of the line?
I'll be around. You have my office number. Call if you need anything, not just for hostage stuff. The regular kind.
I will. Thank you for everything. I won't forget this.
The line clicked and silence filled the comms room. Karen let the headset drop onto the console. She slumped back and rubbed her eyes. The coffee had gone cold hours ago. On the clipboard, 11 names stared back at her. 11 futures she'd help salvage.
Thank you, Karen. I don't know how you pulled this off, but I am going home to my family.
Just doing my job. Now go. They've been waiting for you.
3 days later, the galactic news cycle was dominated by a single story. The Hexus Liberation Front had formally dissolved. Footage showed Vex Core enrolling in an online pedagogy course, his clawed fingers tapping awkwardly but purposefully on the keyboard.
We have a 100% success rate when this human negotiates, not a single casualty.
The chamber erupted into debate. Some called it softness. Aaron called it effectiveness.
It's not softness, it's effectiveness. And the numbers prove it.
The vote was narrow, 53 to 47, but it passed. Section 91A became law.
Henceforth, when humans are involved in hostage crises, allow Karen to call first.
That evening, Karen sat in her living room, a book in her lap, the news playing quietly in the background.
They named a rule after me?
She turned the page, but a small smile stayed on her lips. 1 year later, in a small apartment on a neutral colony, Vex Core sat at a cluttered desk. A stack of graded ethics papers sat beside a blank piece of parchment. He dipped the quill and began to write in careful, deliberate strokes. The words came from a place he hadn't accessed in years. Dear Karen, I wanted you to know I passed my certification. My students are thriving. I think of your patience every day. Sincerely, your friend. The letter traveled by interstellar courier, arriving at the FBI field office on a quiet Tuesday morning.
What's this, alien stationery? Just a friend checking in.
She tucked it into a drawer filled with other thank you notes and small mementos from past cases.
Not bad for a 9-hour call.
It was the first of many. 6 years before the alien crisis, Karen sat in a cramped van outside a bank in St. Louis. SWAT had the building surrounded. Inside, a desperate man named Leo held a little girl by the shoulder. The pistol in his hand shook with each sob.
I am sorry. I am so sorry. I just want my son to remember me.
Leo, I hear you. Tell me what's going on.
I lost my job. My wife left. My son is all I have, but he'll grow up thinking I am a monster.
He won't, Leo. Not if you put the gun down. I promise you'll see him again.
After 6 hours, Leo released the girl and walked out, his hands raised. He couldn't stop crying.
That was the hardest one.
She carried that weight long after the cameras left. Every year, she received a birthday card from Leo with a photo of his son.
They were all hard, but some had lower lows.
In 2034, Karen retired with a small ceremony at the FBI. She shook hands, accepted a plaque, and walked out into an ordinary afternoon. She bought a colonial house in Vermont and turned it into a bed and breakfast. The sign out front read, "The Listening Post." On her first birthday there, a stack of cards arrived from across the galaxy.
You saved my life. This one's from Jameer. He's a mechanic now, and here is Krell. He paid off his debt and opened a bakery.
To the woman who gave me a second life. Happy birthday, my friend. She pinned it on a corkboard already crowded with handwritten notes, children's drawings, and faded photographs. She was the only person in the galaxy who received birthday cards from former hostage takers.
Guess I made an impression.
She poured a cup of tea and stepped onto the porch. The breeze lifted the edges of the cards, as if the universe was sending its own reply. A journalist visited the B&B a month later, hoping to document the legend behind Section 91A. She found Karen in the garden, pruning roses.
So you talked an entire alien faction into surrendering. What's your secret? No secret. I just listened. That's what most people need, but the alien incident was historic. An entire militant group surrendered without a shot. Honestly, I've had harder negotiations in St. Louis.
Her mind briefly flashed to Leo, the shaking pistol, the little girl's tears.
Vex Corps just needed someone to listen. The guy in St. Louis needed a reason to live.
The reporters scribbled furiously, stunned. The legend of the negotiator who'd talked down aliens was, in Karen's own words, just another Tuesday.
In the end, people are people, alien or not.
The article never ran, but the reporter kept the notes, and every year on Karen's birthday, she sent a card too. In the final moments, Leo pressed the gun to his own temple. His fingers shook on the trigger.
Leo, think of your son. What do you want him to remember about his father?
That I loved him, but I can't. It's too much. I can't go on.
You can. Put the gun down, and I promise you'll see your son tomorrow.
The gun clattered away. Leo sobbed on the floor as the little girl ran outside.
Be gentle with him. He's broken, not bad. He just forgot how to hope.
Months later, in prison, Leo and his son drew a picture together, a yellow sun. That drawing came to Karen in a letter. She framed it and placed it on her desk.
That drawing was why I did this job. Not for headlines, but for moments like that.
She kept it next to Vex Corps' puppet on the shelf, the two trophies that mattered most. On a quiet afternoon, Karen found a thick alien envelope in her mail. She brought it to the kitchen table. Inside was a holographic image that flickered to life. Vex Corps, kneeling among 20 alien children, all beaming. The classroom behind them was bright with artwork. A note, handwritten. Because of your patience, I have patience. Thank you for my life. Karen pinned the photo onto her refrigerator, right next to Leo's drawing of a yellow sun. She brewed a fresh cup of coffee and stepped onto the back porch. Dusk was settling, and the first evening stars appeared. In her rocking chair, Karen looked up at the emerging stars, the warmth of the mug in her hands. Some heroes carry weapons. Some heroes carry clipboards and a coffee mug. Karen never carried a gun, She carried a question.
It's a good night.
The B&B glowed softly against the Vermont hills, a tiny light in the vast and watchful galaxy. Karen saved more lives with a question and a cup of coffee than any tactical squad ever could. 10 years after Section 91A was first adopted, hostage incidents involving humans had dropped by 80%.
Karen's method has saved countless lives. I move to adopt this protocol across the entire galaxy.
The vote was unanimous. For the first time, the council chamber erupted in genuine applause.
Henceforth, Section 91A is universal law. In any crisis where humans are involved, let Karen call first.
They drafted a nomination for the Galactic Peace Prize, the highest honor in the known systems. Across the galaxy, in Vermont, Karen opened the ornate letter. She read it once, shrugged and set it aside.
Just some award. The pancakes are more important.
She never attended the ceremony. The B&B was fully booked that week, and she didn't want to turn away guests. That morning, she drizzled maple syrup onto pancakes, and a guest whispered that she was a legend.
I am just a cook.
On a crisp autumn morning, a delivery drone descended onto the porch of the listening post. Inside the package, nestled in stasis foam, was a small cake. White frosting, alien berries on top, and a piped message, "Your friend."
He sent a cake from another star system. Now that's some logistics. You have to try this. A former hostage taker sent me a birthday cake. She said it tastes like home. That's the idea.
That evening, Karen sat alone on the porch, the stars just beginning to pierce the dusk. A shooting star streaked across the sky, a quick bright line of silver. Karen watched it fade, the faint smile never leaving her lips. She had saved more lives with a question and a cup of coffee than any tactical squad could. The listening post glowed, a tiny beacon of patience in the vast and grateful galaxy.